for it all for the cause. Breaking niggas' jaws, have them sipping soup through straws.
Welcome back to the channel. This Let's Talk Shop with Old School. I got my homie Baby Spike back in the building, homeboy. Holla at him, Spike. Let him know what's up.
Hey, what's up with the people, man? You know, out to the people.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You was freezing up a little bit, but it's all good. Like I promised y'all, I got the homie back on. We're going to talk about his life. Now, check this out. The last interview, you said you was on your way home from school. I'm going to just get right into it. You said you was on your way home from school and somebody happened to lose their life. Walk us through that, man. Let us know what happened when that took place.
Well, it just after school, confrontation situation. We had a older gentleman that was bullying some kids on the bus coming from Washington that stayed on the north side of my community. And once he entered into HA territory. He started bullying the kids, and they in turn turned around, and I've seen one of my homeboys and went and got at him about it. He in turn alerted us that that they would get that they were at at this particular place. And so I went up there expecting the rumble, as usual, but when we got there, the individual who lost his life turned to us and began approaching us with his hands behind his back, saying, I smoke all you tramps.
Wow.
At that point, somebody in our pack raised the gun up, and ended his life.
Right.
We all ran away, but it's maybe like 20, 30 kids, when I mean kids, we all kids at this time, and but it's kids from from everywhere going different places and whatnot. I continue on my journey, man. Battling it, doing what I'm doing, battling day in and day out, and so there's this officer, who had ended up pretty much being responsible for my homeboy Kenny Mack, ending his life, being chased on a 3-wheeler. And but this officer had pulls us over, here and there all the time, so it's because he's, and never trouble. But this particular day, he was in his off-duty car.
Right.
So he say, so he well, let's just be real about it. That was in the past. I opened fire on him thinking that he was, the rival gang.
Right.
So I'm coming from my baby mama house, on the south side. And I see the car, but the car is the same make and model as big time rival gang member.
Right.
And so that's what I see when I pull out. At the time I had an 82 Cutlass, and so I see the car swoop up Western, looking at me. I'm about to cross Western, about to go to Schoolboy house. I was really hurt over Schoolboy getting killed. I had already dropped out of school, and so I was on my way to school, boy. That's where I mourned at. And that's why I grieved at. But the dudes in the car was just looking at me like that. They rubbernecked me. So as I cross Western, I see them make a U-turn. So when they make a U-turn, I shoot up to St. Andrew's place. Shit. I shoot up to St. Andrew's place. I slow down, see what happened. The car hit 81st right there. So now I see there's two heads in the car. So I swoop up to Schoolboy Street, which is 82nd, and come back down to Western. When I get back down to Western, I block the street off and shit. Well, I go in the alley right there. There's the alley right by the store. So I'm very familiar with the area and shit.
Right.
So I block it off and I get out and I get, and I walk the car down. You know what I mean? So, and I get back in my shit. I get on. The next day, he's in the crash unit car. I'm coming from my baby mama house again. So he got me. This was ironically, this was October 23rd. He pulled me over, and he's ransacking my car. Bam, ransacking my car. He got his partner watching me at gunpoint, basically. Shit, right? So we on 81st in Harvard, and so he come out of the car. He's looking for weapons and shit like that. He come out of the car and he grabbed me by the neck, like motherfucker, who was you shooting at last night? Like, who was you shooting at last night? I'm like, man, I wasn't shooting at nobody. Like, who was driving your car yesterday? Who was driving your car? Like, man, I wasn't driving your car. Nobody. He's like, where that gun at? Where that gun at? I'm like, man, I don't have no gun. Ain't nothing there but rappers and everything from school. So I'm trying to get back to school and shit. Like, And he like, man, he looked me in my eyes. He said, that was me you was shooting at last night.
And that was the cop?
That was the cop, crash unit. He said, that was me you was shooting at last night. He said, whether it was you or one of your homeboys or whatever. He's like, but I'm going to get you. By this time, we have residents coming out. My homie Ephraim, them people stay right across the street. So they coming out. They seeing, they know Kufan. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So, but he see that. So, he let me go. I'm not tripping and shit. And he go see, after that, once I researched everything and looked back at things, he went and got at, one of the cats that was with me and shit while he was in jail on some raping a basehead shit. Some old bullshit. And I believe that's where, it sent them to me to where they, where they finger me as a gunman and because I was the one that they wanted because I popped my thing, you know what I'm saying? And I popped my thing at him, and he knew it, right. So it was no longer about anybody else. So, right. I just and it was that case. So he, he sent them to my homeboy because everything was describing him,
right?
The vehicle match and all that stuff, because that's where the people that's who they got at. About the older dude bullying them on the bus.
Right.
So, I end up just having to ride that out, man. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I began to educate myself in there. I was so uneducated and clueless when they put their hands on me. And telling me I'm getting charged with first degree murder. I was uneducated and clueless. I had to go pro per when when I get arrested. January 9th, 1992.
What year was that? 92.
1992. January 9th, 1992. I go to I go to prelim. I go to my prelim. I get to my prelim. He's the lead gang detective on me. So I'm turning to the attorneys and shit like, what's up, man? This dude that just threatened me or whatever. Who I am. Shit, but the attorney wasn't trying to hear me. So I'm about to shock my attorney up. Shit, like, so we had to separate. I'm like, no, something going on. I'm up now. But right. I don't have education. I don't have the education to back back me up.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go pro per, try to learn that shit, man. So as I'm going pro per, it
Now,
you know
listen,
it later discovered.
before you continue on that, let everybody know what pro per mean.
Oh yeah, pro per is when you have to represent yourself. You know, that
Right.
means you know you no longer have an attorney. You know, you saying that you're gonna do this yourself, which I was scared to death. You know, I just turned well, I didn't on my 19th birthday. I I stood
So
before a
you was
judge.
19 years old representing yourself.
Yeah, no, I had no choice because I've seen the police do. My attorney is not trying to help me take it, you know, because I see what's happening now, right?
Right.
So I'm up now, shit. You know, he was, so I had to do it. So I went pro per from February 18th, 92 to December 10th,
Mm-hmm.
1992. Now, now, once I educated myself, like I said, I became a law librarian in you know in my last days. So I began to to understand. So I you know looking back on things, uh, once I got the evidence that I need when I ran into my homeboy little football in prison.
Right.
You know, he like, and he telling me like, man, you know that you know, do I'm like, I know, but I couldn't do it. He like, well, you know, he was removed off of my case for eyewitness tampering shit or whatever. So that's what I started banking on with that, and then I end up, you know, after writing thousands and thousands of letters, I end up with a private investigator who was digging my spiel and didn't charge me too much to be able to do it. And he came back with with 2 out of 3 of the leading witnesses, and they showed me what, you know. I have audio tapes right now that of that investigator bringing that back to me. It was one of the happiest moments of my life and shit. You feel me? Because
Right.
you know I wasn't gonna go into the parole board. I just needed something to stand on. You know, so but that came from from my homeboy little football, and everything dawned back on me that my homeboy did some off the record shit, right? Uh because there were people there was people with me that nobody else knew. It was somebody from my street. He rests in peace now, but he got killed when I was away, shit. But he happened to be with me that day, because like I said, I dropped out of school, so I was available for problems and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we had to get banging through the set smoking when I got the news that they do the people up here. You know, we're gonna get but they knew all of that, so it traced me all the way back to my crime, and that's when I realized what it is that he did. I saved my crime his whole life, and why and everything. When people got him like, nah, he just made a statement, man. He didn't say I actually did nothing. You know, he just put me where I couldn't have no alibi or say nothing and shit. I just had to ride it out, because everything he described me, I wasn't done. I couldn't let him come in. Everything he's describing him, the description, medium complexion, mustache, 6 feet, all that. I was 5'7", skinny, and a booty face, and I'm chocolate. You understand what I'm saying? But that's how I understand how they got us and shit. So, but it dawned on me as I educated myself. They hide everything in books. They know we stupid as a motherfucker. You can see it today.
For real. For real. Right now
So
today.
it was in the books the whole time. And as a law librarian, I had to help everybody else with theirs. So I'm learning at the same time. Because I knew when I get ready to go up for parole, I need to have something in that court still challenging my shit. Because I'm still standing on my answer. I never disputed the fact that I was there, so it was 20 other motherfuckers. But, so I was ready to go. I wasn't gonna fold to get out of prison. I had boycotted the parole board since 2007. So I
All right.
wasn't tripping. You
Now
know?
let me ask you this. You brought up football, man. Football is a prominent figure about your section. I was listening to one of your young homies, man, Young Ant. Young Ant Hefe, that's my nigga. I like looking at his content. He said something about football, man. He said football was on his cripping, but he was also on his black shit. Speak to a little bit of that. I know we're going to get on Cody, but speak to a little bit of football because I want to talk about that. He said he was on his black shit. He was
I
militant
spent a lot of time
and, and
with
all that. Speak to a little bit of
I grew up, with little ball, little ball, and in prison, he's on his black tip, but he's always been like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, on some real shit. Like he was never about about the war type person. He gonna go, but it really ain't what Yeah, he was more about the people before he turned notorious like that. You feel me? And so, and in prison it was like that as well. He do his cripping, but he's on his black thing, but it's because he's a Muslim. We have several homies who are devout Muslims. Who know how to thread that line, right? And that and that's little football. You know what I mean? And he's one of my members on my program, and God willing, he gonna be here soon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping that he be my 33rd. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what's up.
So yeah, little football. Look, me and little football go way back. You know what I mean? Gardena High School shit now. You know what I'm saying? Being on 70th and being on the north side, like I was on each side of that town over there, like, so
for those of y'all that don't know, excuse me, football was the one that hit Reginald Denny in the head with that brick. You know what I mean? So and he was very instrumental on a lot of other things too. We're not gonna speak on, but I was glad to hear that part about football because I was one of those dudes up out of my neighborhood. I was pro-black. I still am. I didn't agree with, other races being from my neighborhood. I didn't get down with that. You know what I mean? And it was hard for me to even shake hands with essays that claim my hood and even white boys. I never got down with that. You know what I mean? And it would be times where homies would try to introduce me to them and I wouldn't even give them no love because I'm like, homie, it's not my homie. You know what I mean? I just don't get down like that. So how you feel about that, man? How you feel about other races being from your hood, man? Was you cool with that?
Well, I never had a problem with with that per se. And but of course I never knew that I wasn't about the blacks on and my I was about rivaling. Like,
Right.
if you saying fuck these fools over here, then you cool with me.
Right.
So I wasn't football.
Right.
I wasn't that tight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Football rolled with me, but I know that he really wasn't lonely like that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to hurt people like that, but me, I had a lot of pain.
Right. And that's why I took when I heard Young Ant speaking on that, he definitely he explained it real good because I understood it. I was that dude. Like if I seen a white boy or an essay, that's who I wanted to get. I never wanted to really get my people unless I had to. Unless they had it coming. I'm just not finna go out there and get at you like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, for me, I would like to believe that I've never harmed an innocent person in my life.
Right.
Now, in that
Right.
regard, I've never harmed a old black man, or I ain't never harmed everybody that I tried to harm, you know, looked like me.
Right.
You know, they just had
Mm-hmm.
on a different hat or different
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah.
they looked like me. They was the soldiers. I didn't fuck with a motherfucker that was kids that had non-combatants with them and shit like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It was
Right.
about that business, and we had people on the other side who did the same. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mm-hmm.
done rival with some very legendary dudes that's out, and they was about the business.
Right.
We didn't, you know, I never condoned it. I never was,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how that's pretty much how me and little football is alike. Like we'll whoop a motherfucker ass if we around a motherfucker jump and knock out a motherfucker innocent person just on the strength because we walking down the street or whatever. We finna get
Right.
on you. Fuck you do that for,
That's what's
right?
up.
So with
That's
checks
what's
and
up.
balances, you know, and where in what we did,
Now let me ask you this. One of your because that last video, man, it was going up. A lot of your homeboys, whether they was adversaries or allies, they was chiming in. And one who he hopped on there and he said you had him jump for some BBs. You remember who Cuz is?
I had him jump for some BBs.
For some BBs. That's what he put up on the thing. He said, "Oh mean ass, you had me jump for some BBs." He
You know
saluted
what?
you, though. You know what I
No, no,
mean?
no, no, no,
Saluted
no.
you.
All due respect, though, you know what I mean. Like, I've encountered a lot of people, a few people. I ain't gonna say a lot of them. I've encountered a couple of people who I didn't have to make some tough decisions on.
Right, right,
And like I tell them, man, if I made a call on you, it was because it was the right thing for the set. Who
right,
violated?
right,
I
right.
I did everything my G homie told me to do from the day I stepped in prison, and I stayed on level
Mm-hmm.
4 yards my whole life. So
Mm-hmm.
I know the consequences of a bad call.
That's what's up. Now look,
I
I know your time is limited. Take us back to when you first got locked up, man. Because back during that time, I'm sure you was on one, you was active. What was it like when you went in there and you realized at this point you had to get along with the 60s? You had to become allies with the neighborhood car. Tell me about that. Tell us about that. What was that like? Was that
you
something
know
hard for you to do, or was that something that
yeah
you
that yeah,
easily
no
embraced?
well it's not hard for you to do if you know that 2 plus 2 is 4. Right? You
Right,
have a lot of hard motherfuckers even right now say that they won't do that, but I know for sure from experience that is nothing like the motherfuckers that been in there 10, 15 years before you turning to you telling you something serious, and you're not gonna do it. You ain't gonna. I wouldn't give a fuck who you is. You is not gonna say fuck what y'all talking about. You're
right,
not. So
right,
and that's what I had, even though I had little strength because I still had the mentality, so I still wrote on shit. You know what I'm saying? I still wrote on tables and shit, like, you know what I'm saying, baby spank.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So it got whacked out. It got whacked out, man, and it was a big ass thing over it and shit. And I think that's the last time. That's when I finally realized that that business, as far as that cripping business in prison, is bigger than me. It's bigger than the set. You know
right,
what I'm saying? It's bigger than one set. So I advise a motherfucking man that because in I think helping me understand that is it was those infractions, but on the other side, it's like me meeting dudes like Ron, you know, or or knowing Tone from, from 111, knowing how we battle, but we right here, they seeing you remembering, and you know what I'm saying, and we, not the county jail what we doing. You can't do all that. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
you run in, you run into these dudes, man, and then you start meeting dudes. Like I know so many of them, man, that I was on them lines with, man. My whole life and shit. Like, doe eyes from '60s, like these old niggas that helped raise me to who I was in prison and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga Donut from 9-0 shit, like, old niggas and shit, like,
Right.
and seeing how they interacted with my G homies and shit that was on the line, was on the line, man. It's just you always got to be a student of the game.
Right.
You always got to be a student of the game, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what helped me. And at the same time, I did everything that I was supposed to do on the streets. Since I was 13, I did everything I was supposed to do for A-Trey Gangster.
That's what's up.
So my reputation had pretty much preceded me. So I was already walking in as family. So, a lot of them old dudes knew me as little Kufan, Pepper's little brother and shit, Miss Jackson's son, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And, because I remember seeing Big Spike and all them old heads in the back of my house back in, when I was in single digits and shit, man, having meetings and shit like that, man, and, wanting to be like them and playing with my action figures, because making up the names that I heard peeking through the cracks and shit, And so I think that prepared me to walk into that and receive education, the knowledge that my forefathers was giving me about that business. My homie Lil Mac was one of my first sellers. Rest in peace to him, man. I never got to see him again, but he gave me jewels about that business, coming in, so I had a Big Crazy D and Big Jesse and all these legendary OGs, had they all had invested in me with regards to lacing me or giving me something to hold on to and shit, because I knew that these first generation dudes, they've been in here 10, 15 years prior to me coming. So I knew I wasn't getting out until I started seeing them get out.
Now let me ask you this before we let you go. Monster Cody is a prominent figure about your section. Tell us how you met Monster Cody and what type of impact did he have on your life?
Monster Cody, man, rest in peace to Monster Cody, man. I like to always highlight the good, in my personal relationship with Cody. I met Cody through mail. He ended up writing my who's now my godmother, Miss Leon Bean, through Lil Monster Cody.
Right.
And Lil Monster Cody and Miss Bean showed up at my mother's home in 1987, and was telling me that they had a letter for me from Monster Cody. And so I get the letter, and he's telling me, all the things he been hearing about me, and that he wanted me to, help put together a toy drive in which we would be taking toys to the Los Angeles Children's Hospital. And it was just such an honor, man, because, I'm not too far out of horseman, but he was legendary about scaring everybody at the school and shit, and so I took on that task, man, and you know, in I think it was at the end of 87, 88, man, we ended up taking like maybe 400 or 500 toys to the Los Angeles Children's Hospital, in which little Monster Cody was representing us. But it was that. Then I ended up, when he came home, you know, he came to my mother's house, you know, and ran off with my mother's gun, of course. But you know, but I got to see Monster in his good state. You know what I mean? Like he took us to gun ranges, you know, or he made attempts at militarizing us.
Right.
You
Right.
understand? He's from the north side, so he wanted to make sure he built the north side up because all he was hearing about was Black West Side. You know.
So tell us all the sides of A-Trey gangs. I know we got back west, north side, and what's the other ones?
Oh, you have well, since I've been away, you have far west side, you know, south side. But what a lot of people forget is that and they forget the west side. You know, is actually the west side, and everything else is just an extension of that.
Right.
Back west side, I'm the one, you know, made that up. I'm the one made these fingers up. You know, and it was for, you know, the backside of the west.
Hey, was Big Bob the one they call Hawk? Was he from it? Was he up out of A-Trey gangster too?
Who was Big Bob?
He was the one that was with Judson Baycott when they
Oh yeah, that's the early
ladies.
generation. So I don't, you know, I couldn't
Yeah.
tell you who, you know, but it, I don't recall who you're talking about. But you know, I know Big Jesse though. I know Jesse, and I know pretty much know all the Baycotts, you know. So
Right.
but you have legends there, man. That, you know, original H3 gangsters, um, you know that set that foundation down. It's just that, you know, when things went the way they went, man, it just branched off to what you see today. But at one time, all of the old cats was real solid cats with each other, you know, and
Right.
that's what I would like to see in my lifetime, is to see, you know, see cats on one accord. You know what I mean?
That's what's
That
up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna respect your time, man. How much time you got, man? How much
Let
time
me
you got? You
see.
got 5 or 10 more minutes?
Let me see. Oh no, I gotta go, dog.
You got a bone
Yeah,
out? Okay, look.
yeah. I gotta get in class. So show let me see if I can set this up real quick, man, to see. Yeah, I didn't even realize the time flew like that, man.
Don't trip. Don't
You
trip. That's why
know,
I
but
asked. I was gonna tell you to hit us with a Cold War story from the pen, but don't trip because we gonna let this go up.
it'll be another time, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
because you know, because you know, only war stories you can hear from me is racial and shit. Like
That's what's up.
I
That's what's
wasn't
up.
about I wasn't about that. As far I never really got into it with any blacks in prison and shit.
That's what's
And the
up,
only
man. I
time
love
I
to hear that shit,
my
man.
harm,
I love to hear that, man.
no. And the only time I harmed another race is because it was a riot or it was like it. But you know what? During my last assault, man, and hearing from my mother while I was in that shoe like that, man, like, I came to nonviolence, man. Like, I should be able to resolve my issues, man. That should be the last thing that we have to do. You understand what I'm saying? Like unless you totally, violate my space, like I don't want to hurt you, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mhm.
Because and I had to learn to forgive. You know what I'm saying? Like I won't never forget who all dishonored me, but I need to forgive you, man, because you know
That's what's
it's not
up.
gonna be good for any of us. So
That's
but yeah, man. But we I could take your son, but because a lot of them is do like my last one. You know what I'm saying? Was was over uh who was that, man? A boy from Five Deuces shit. Uh,
it.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but in prison, once you go, bro, it go. You know what I'm saying? Once it go, it goes. So you just, you know, you do what you do with shit. And ironically, you know, I was
You
in
out
a
the
ride.
camera, cuz get back in the camera.
I
There
said,
you go.
ironically, I was in a ride prior to coming home, you know, and it was only by the grace of God that the CEO came and said that he wasn't involved. That's the only reason. That's the only way I made it home.
That's
You know
what's
what
up.
I'm saying? But you know, so you know, I could take you there for real.
That's what's up. Well, look,
All
man, I'm
right,
gonna
man.
respect your time and let you get
For
up out.
sure.
I know you got to get to class.
Yeah, for
We're
sure,
gonna do
man.
this again, man.
All
So
right,
I
man.
always, homie, salute my nigga, and you do
All
your
right.
thing and you stay up, all right,
For
homie?
sure, man. Power to the people, dog.
All the time.
All right.
Yeah, that was my nigga Baby Spike showing y'all what it is, man. We're gonna do another one. That's part one of just what he got going on. You know what I mean? And we're gonna add some more. We're gonna put some more in there on Monster Cody. My bro had to get up out of here and do his thing. But we just giving you some stories of his past life. We ain't glorifying it because he ain't that dude no more. He not Baby Spike no more. He's Cool Fine. And he has an organization where he's helping individuals change their lives. So we focusing on that, but we just telling stories. We bringing it up to show you how not to show these youngsters what way not to go. So again, salute to y'all. Comment, like it. You ain't gotta subscribe. Matter of fact, you ain't even gotta like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. I'm not gonna beg for that. If you like it, you'll do what it do. But I seen what y'all did with the last one. Y'all like Baby Spike. And I brought him back. And we gonna do it again. So comment, let me know what it is. And you know what else? Put some questions down there. What y'all want me to ask Baby Spike, man? You know what I mean? Because people that's not from our culture or our background, y'all don't see things the way we see it. So a lot of people ask me, hey man, how y'all live like that? How y'all do? Is it really that? Whatever questions you got, you know, ask. Put it in the comments section. And I'm gonna ask the homie. But until next time, do what y'all do, man. And be safe out there in these streets. And I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace out.
Shit, what you call it? Y'all call that gangsta shit, nigga. You know what the fuck I call it? Nigga, what you call it? Check this out. Oh, watch out!